A little while ago, I got this kit from Create and Bloom. It's called the Pink Moon Resin Kit, Resin Pendant Kit. And it comes in this lovely little box. And when you open it up, I've already opened this. You've got a booklet with instructions and ideas, step-by-step instructions and ideas, and an inspiration card. You get some pressed flowers. You get some inclusions, some powders there, and some mica flakes or glitter flakes, sparkles she calls them. You get some gloves and some mixing pots and sticks. You get Apex resin and some chains, and then 6 bezels, and it's not all. You get a little table to work on, a little board, and this is the tape, the sticky bezel tape to go on the back of your bezels, and it all comes packaged in this lovely box. I think it would make a lovely gift for somebody who is particularly crafty. I'm going to get rid of that paper for now. And Apex resin is lovely resin. This is Apex 1 coat. So that does set quite quickly. I'm not going to use that today. I'm actually just going to use some UV resin just for speed. And really the only thing I want to use at the moment is the moons, the bezels. So I'm just going to get those out. Or I might get that tape out. Oh, it's in my hand. So I'm going to use the tape as well. And I'll probably use a chain once I've put that together. So let me just pack that away. But lovely kit. I will link that if I can find it again. So as I say, I want to use this and the little moons, or one of the moons. So I'm just going to have a look here. I just want to cut away a bit of the tape, just enough to let's put that back in the box. Right, I'm just going to take that off and press my moon down. Oh, I do hate the ones that have the ring in the opposite direction, because you can't get right up to the edge. So just make sure that you press your tape under there, and that's really what you need the board for. You need to make sure that you hang that little ring over the edge when you are pouring your resin. So I might get that little board out again. There we go. So I'm just going to tuck my tape over there and make sure that that hangs just off of the edge. That flower shape's perfect to make sure that it's in the little the dips of the petals, and that way you can make sure that your bezel is completely flat. You do want it flat when you're pouring your resin. Okay, so I'm going to use some UV resin. I'm going to use this laser powder. So I'm just going to mix that together and think I've done my moon the wrong way around, but never mind, it'll be fine. I did want it the other way around. That's personal preference. I'm just putting a little bit of the UV into my pot, and I'll put some laser powder in there. And oh, this is an old pot, so I think it's already started to set in there. Oh no, I've got a lump in there. Okay, so I've mixed that in, and I'm just going to drop that now into my bezel. I can spread it out. Let me scoop as much as I can out. Okay. Make sure it gets all the way to the edges. I don't want a particularly thick layer here because I am going to be putting some more things in here. But I do want enough just to coat the bottom. There, we're almost done. I think I've probably got just about enough. Can always add a little bit of the plain resin to top it up if I need to, but no, I think that's fine. Okay, so I'm just going to let that settle in there for a second, and then I will cure it with my lamp for 3 minutes. Okay, so that's had 3 minutes on that side. I'm just going to flip it, and I'm going to give it a couple of minutes on the other side as well. Just 2. Okay, so I'm just going to put that to the side for 1 minute. Now I've got some embossing plates for a die cutting machine. I've got a grand caliber, so I'm using the base plate that's labeled A, and I have a tan rubber embossing mat and a raspberry plate. I managed to break mine, but that still works. And I have an embossing folder that is usually used for paper craft, and I love this one. It's got wonderful words in it. I want to try and use the word magic, and I'm going to cut a piece of the document. It's a document binding cover, and it's acetate, so I'm just going to cut a piece of that off, just enough to emboss that word. So let me just give that a bit of a clean. Just wipe that off there. And now I'm going to put that into my folder, my embossing folder. Oops, it wants to stick to my gloves at the moment. So just enough to cover those words there. And I can lay that at the top of my plate, cover it with the rubber mat, put the tan mat, the raspberry plate on. I'm going to run this through my embossing machine, which is just off to the side here, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, I've put that through. Whoops, and it's fallen out already. So you can see that you get a pretty good emboss of the words. So, I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to highlight the word magic, and I've just got a Sharpie pen here, and I'm just going to, oh, if I can pick it up, I'm literally just going to draw over the surface, the raised surface, just to highlight it. Just trying to be careful just to catch the top here. There we go. So I'm just going to let that dry off for a minute. And then I'm going to cut around it, and then I can pop that into my moon. Okay, I think that's dry enough. So I'm just going to snip around it. Try not to touch it too much in case it is still a little wet. Alcohol does dry really quick, as we know. Okay, there we go. Now I want to pop that in there. Just want to see if I can get that to fit, or do I need to snip a little bit more off? I might need to cut it just a little closer. Okay, let's see if that's any better. Whoop. Okay, yeah, that should fit in there. Lovely. Right. So I'm just going to put some clear UV resin in there. And then I can spread that around with my stick. Again, make sure that the ring is hanging off of the edge of your plate. I can put my acetate in. Oh, don't know how I'm managing to still stick on there because I've folded that down. Right, so I'm just going to push that down, try and make sure that there are no air bubbles underneath. And I really do want it to sort of lay flat, so I'm going to hold that down and try and set it just a tiny bit with my torch, because I don't want it to keep raising up. So if I can just set it enough to hold it in place, and then I'll cure it properly with my lamp. Just give it probably 20 seconds or so. And yes, it's going to stick my stick there, but that's it. Okay, I just twisted my stick slightly to release it. that seems to be holding itself down, so I'm going to cure that now for 2 minutes. Okay, that seems to have lay nice and flat in there. So I am going to give it another layer of resin, and I'm going to use some of these which were in the kit. So it's called Sparkles, and yes, there are glittery flakes in there, but there's also pink crystals, little pieces of look like abalone or stones, micas, I don't know. There's all kinds of things in here. Little bits of pink crushed glass by the look of it. So yeah, I'm loving it. It's really pretty. So I'm going to try and put some of that in there just to add a little bit of interest. So another layer of UV resin. Put that on the top. And spread that to the edges. I love the way it magnifies the word. And then I'm going to just pop in some of these little rocks. I don't mind if they stick out, and they are, that's fine. Come on, I want a really deep pinky bit. So I'm just going to space those out. The dark pink piece. There we go. I'm happy with that, maybe. All right, and now I'm going to cure that. I'm going to cure that for 5 minutes. Okay, that's cured now. So you can see that they are sticking out quite a bit. I'm quite happy to leave it like that, but I am going to give it another coat of resin. I want to dome it. I just want to see if I've got a little bit of an overlap here. It looks like. So just see if I can get that off first. Actually, I don't know if that's resin. Oh yeah, it was. There you go, cracked it off. Right, so I'm going to use some JDiction's high viscosity UV resin for this. So I will put that on the top. And then spread that around. Try and get a little bit of a dome, and then it will hopefully bury those pieces. I don't mind if they do stick out, just that I don't want them sticking out quite as much as they were. They are secure, and that's fine. Just need a little bit more. Make it round. A nice dome on there. And then that will be the last cure now for 5 minutes. Okay, that's finished. So that's a nice dome on there. That rock is still sticking out, that's fine. I think it looks really pretty. And you can see the word in there, magic. Right, let's peel this off the back now. Much better, no residue came off, that's fantastic. So I do have some ripples, so I am going to dome that as well, or at least level it. So I'm just going to use some of the, I've got the low viscosity here. Let me just get my gloves back on. Okay, gloves on. So you can see it is still pretty shiny, which is really good for the back of bezel tape, but this will help to smooth it out, and it will actually hopefully improve the look of the glitter as well. So I'm just going to put that in there, let that lay itself flat. Just spread it out. I'm not looking to dome this, just to, you know, make a nice smooth flat back to it. Get rid of all those ripples that I had. That looks lovely. So you could make this double-sided if you wanted to, and put another letter on there before you, or word rather, before you do it. But so I'm going to leave that to cure for 2 minutes, and then I'm going to put the chain on. Okay, that's done now. So that's a nice rounded back to there. I've got a little bubble there, unfortunately. I could sand that down, so I'll do that in a minute and then just give it another very skim coat. There you go. I think that's really pretty. So the kit came with some chains. Just, whoops, sorry, zoom you back out a little bit. And if I can get those open. There we go. So I think that's lovely that they are chains rather than the cords that you usually get with pendant kits. So if I can get the, oh, hang on, let's just find one of the chains. There we go. Let's undo that. So I can pass that through them in, or can I? Ooh, well, that's not clever. That's interesting, because that does not want to go through there. So can I get this little jump ring off, or is this a fused jump ring? Oh, it's another nail broken. Right, so I've got some little pliers here, and I think that I can open that maybe. No. Oh, yeah, just in the wrong place. Right, okay. There we go. Pass the chain through. And then rehook it. And put that back together again. Unfortunately, I mangled it a little bit, but never mind. Okay, that's a shame that you have to do that. It does make it more secure once you put it on the chain, but it does mean that you don't have absolutely everything that you need in the kit in order to do that. But there you go. I think that's beautiful. So I hope that you had some magic this Christmas and that you will find some in the new year. I wish you all the best. Be kind to yourselves and to each other, and I will see you in 2025. Bye. Thanks for watching.